like I said, sorry, I had this all pre-drawn earlier and it disappeared. So
Oh, this is helpful. This is real helpful just to see you do it live.
yeah, no problem, no problem. Good. I mean, whatever, whatever helps kind of get that, make these pictures make sense, right? So
So for in order for it to be a drop, it has to show a consecutive like three consecutive pattern or of decrease. Like is there a an amount that you look for to show that pattern of a drop before the rally?
So when you say when you're, I think what you're probably asking is, does it have to be a certain number of basing
Candles.
candles at the
Yeah,
bottom,
yeah,
right? Probably what you're
yeah,
asking.
yeah.
So there's no, there are, it is something you can get into later about what type of what type of or how many candles make up uh the base, for example.
Gotcha.
So it could be it could be one candle. Okay, it could be this, and a move out, and that's it. It
Gotcha.
doesn't have to be a certain number of candles.
Okay.
The reality is, if you break it down, and it also depends on your time frame, but if you break it down to a different time frame, what may be seemingly lacking on in one on one time frame, you drill down the time frame, you're going to have it's going to be more basing candles on a smaller time frame, for example. So and I'll get into that actually in I could probably get into that in this lesson as well. So a lot of times, and not all the time, but a lot of times, a drop based rally will be followed by a rally based rally. Okay, so let's just, for the sake of speeding this up, let's just say this is our rally based rally. Okay? And this case happens to be made up of two candles. Just a wick in there, just to make it look realistic. Okay. I think this is definitely nailed it now. So without, you don't need any color to get this idea, but this is your demand level. Okay, there's more buyers here than sellers because price doesn't go down anymore, right? If there was nobody else buying here, price would continue to go down. Okay, that's kind of what you have. Let's just say in this situation right here, price came down, kind of closer a little bit. There was no one left to buy, so price had to move down further to find someplace where people who want to buy. Okay, so this is going to be your drop base rally. Okay, price drops, bases, moves up. Okay, it's going to be a rally base rally. Price moves up, pauses a little bit, basing candle, moves up again.
Mm.
We come up for whatever reason. You can ignore it momentarily to the left here, but price starts to base again, try and go higher, try and go higher. Can't go any higher, so it pushes back down. Okay, so basing candle, and drop down again. Okay, so this is supply level. More sellers here than buyers, because if people wanted to keep buying here, they would buy, and then we exhaust the sellers, and this would keep going up. Not the case. Okay, so you got your rally, base, drop. Okay, so two candles could be 7 candles. Price rallies up, it bases, it drops down. Okay, starts to go down. Now we did say that this is a demand level. This is a place where it seems like people want to buy. So price comes back here, maybe we keep going up. In this particular case, just the way we drew it out, okay, price came down, started to hold. You might even see something like this happen. Maybe the candle ended up looking like this. It looks like it's gonna hold and start pushing back up. And in this case, you end up getting something like this. And that price keeps pushing down. Okay, so this is what we refer to as a drop base drop. Price drops, bases, kicks back and forth a little bit, drops again, keeps going.
Gotcha.
That's your drop. That's your drop base drop. Okay.
Okay.
These moves are made up of basing candles. Hence these. Okay, a basing candle is, I'm gonna squeeze these. I'm gonna squeeze these up a little more for for the example, a basing candle is a candle that the body of the candle makes up, let's say, 50% or less of the candle. So just to drive that point home, put a little more wick in there. Okay. Put a little more wick in here. Cool.
Okay.
So the body of the candle is 50% or less.
Okay. 50% or less.
Okay, so you got basing candles.
Okay. So like,
And then you have what would either be referred to as extended range candles or extended range candles is a term we can use. So extended range candle.
so with like
Or a leg.
if I were to do it like I guess I don't even, from a futures perspective, the number of ticks between, I guess the open and close, that is 50% or smaller is a basing candle. Is that another way to sort of state
So
it?
the ticks, yeah, the ticks, whether you're talking about ticks or points is not relevant. I mean, there's no like ticks is
Yeah,
in the futures market, ticks is in the in the forex market, but stocks, for example, you don't talk about tick increments in stocks.
gotcha.
Right? Stocks is just stocks moves in pennies.
Okay.
So the tick is a measurement in the futures market. So for what Jamil and I trade in the futures market, and when you guys are on in any of the rooms, that's what we're referring to. But points, ticks, I mean, because you can, for example, if you look right here, this is if you were going to set up a trade here, it asks you what parameters you want to use. You want to use currency, percent, price, ticks, or pips. Pips
Okay.
are, sorry, I said ticks for the forex market. I meant to say pips for the forex market.
Gotcha.
So every increment in the forex market moves in a pip. Futures market, we move in ticks. Stock market, you're moving in pennies. So you're moving in either price or currency in this case.
Okay.
So it's not the number of ticks is not what is determining the basing, because this concept right here, let me get these crosshairs off, sorry. This whole discussion right here is consistent across forex, futures, and stocks with regards to using a candle, using candles as a price chart.
Okay.
Cool. So your basing candles are, the body is 50% or less, and after just staring at this for a while, this will that'll click right away. Your extended range candles are going to be sometimes be called an extended range candle. Sometimes you hear somebody refer to it as a leg in or a leg out. And sometimes you'll hear it referred to as an impulse. I mean, an impulse isn't necessarily, I'm not even going to put it here, actually. Not even necessarily referring to the candles, okay? I mean, it refers to the movement in the candles, but not particularly to a candle. So, we'll call this, even if this had a long wick like this would still be the leg out in this situation, because you know, this the body of this whole candle is 75% of the range. Okay. Range real quick. The range is everything between the wicks. So in, you know, in this case here, this candle is runs from here to here. Okay, that's the range of that candle.
Oh, okay.
So if anybody's talking about range, this is what they're talking about.
Okay.
I can even set this up a little.
So range is from wick to wick, or from the bottom of the top wick to the bottom.
Well,
To
you see this, you see how you can actually see this wick in here.
Yeah.
If we were looking at a price chart, you wouldn't see the wick running through
Yeah,
the
running
candle.
through. Yeah,
It just
yeah.
happens to be the way I, you know, the color I chose to make the wick.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's the wick, it's the wick at the top of the candle to the wick at the bottom of the candle. That's the range of the candle.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that's the range of the candle. So this is a leg in, because you imagine that price is coming, just to make this more. Okay. So price is moving down from somewhere up here. It moves down again. So this is either this one or this one, this candle or this candle can be referred, is going to be your leg in. Okay, actually, I'm sorry, this is your leg in. This candle is your leg in, because this is the one that precedes the basing of the candles. Okay,
Gotcha.
so this is your leg in right here. This is going to be your basing. This is going to be your leg out.
Like, oh, okay.
Okay. This is your leg in for the drop base rally. This is your leg out for the drop base rally. This is your leg. This one is also, in this case, your leg in for the rally base rally. And this is your leg out for the rally base rally.
Okay.
That so far?
So when you hit a leg out, that's the formation of a new level.
Yeah. You can, yes, you can say that. I'd say you can say that, yeah.
Okay.
So if you if you were looking at this, I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but since I'm already doing it, I'm gonna keep rolling with it. But this is, if you took the candles out of the chart, what you would see is, if somebody says a drop base rally, base rally, base drop, base drop.
Mm.
I don't know if I may have just confused the situation, but so I'm going to get rid of this real quick. Kind of jumped the gun there. So candles move, price is moving down. It hits something over here to the left. We don't know what. It's not relevant at the moment. It bases, it moves up. So leg in, base candles, leg out. Leg in, base, leg out. leg in, base, leg out, leg in, base, leg out. You know, which is the leg out here? In this case, it would be this candle. Okay. Because yes, it has a couple of wicks in it, but it's got wicks, but the candle itself is the majority of the candle is body. So drop,
Yeah.
base, drop.
Gotcha.
Cool. Okay. So, you know, what comes after that is you know, so this is how you identify your levels. Okay.
Yep.
You look for a candle that is the majority of the candle is the body of a candle. When you start seeing some basing candles, you know you're starting to form a base, and if you move out of there, then you know that you have a leg out.
Yep.
And this just happens all day long, all throughout the chart. Okay. So the part that comes after that is going to be drawing your zones. So the only thing that's going to okay. So there's a few ways you can draw your zones. You can, to draw your zones, you can take the whole range from the lowest wick of the basing of any basing candle to the highest wick
Oh,
of any basing
okay.
candle. Okay. That's how you're going to determine your level. Now, some people like to draw in the case of demand, they'll take the body of the highest body in the basing candles and the lowest wick. And they'll say,
Okay.
this is my zone.
Is
Okay.
that risk?
And then
Is that risk why they reduce it to the body as opposed to the top of the wick?
yeah, yes. I mean, in time, there are some people who will teach that, if you want to reduce your risk, then, just use the bodies. The reality is over time, you're going to do after doing this a long time, you're just going to do what works for you and what you think is relevant for you. This is a zone. This is also a zone. And this is a zone. If you want to take the lowest body of the lowest body in the basing handles, you can say that's your zone. I personally, after a lot of time doing this, I take the whole zone. I take the whole base from wick to wick. Now, that doesn't mean that I just put my order right here on this line. But I draw out the whole area for myself because of how I like to trade, just for reference. I just know that something in here, if I see some other factors when price gets to this area, if I don't have a limit order and I'm waiting to see how price moves in this area, maybe on a smaller time frame, then I just want to know for reference, am I in that basing area?
Gotcha.
Because, I mean, I drew it inadvertently this way, but if you, in this particular case, right, this is a demand area. Okay. It's a place where there's more buyers and sellers. Price came down here, touched in here. Again, I mean, it's just coincidence I happen to draw it this way, but came in here and went up before it started coming back down again. Right?
Yeah.
If I would have drawn this down here, I may not have set myself up to take this trade from here to here. And
Yeah.
we don't in the context of this conversation, we don't know if from here to here is 10 points on the ES or 40 points on the ES, right? It's not relevant at the moment. It's just the point is price came into this area here and had a reaction and moved back up. That's the point. Here's another good point. It doesn't matter if you drew it like this or you drew it like this, right? In this particular scenario, price moved through the level anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say it doesn't matter how you draw your zone. What I'm saying is, I'd say if I was going to say what's most common, probably, at least when I learned this concept initially, the most common is take the highest body in the highest basing candle. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to just for supply. Okay. I'm using red and green to really, do I want to know? Oh. Okay, I'm using red and green. I'm using red to denote supply and green to denote demand. Okay, so this is the demand zone. This is the demand zone. This is a supply zone. And this is a supply zone. So again, you can draw your zones. We can, for the sake of this example, let me pull this up a little bit here. You can go to in the case of a supply zone, the highest wick and the lowest body.
Gotcha. Okay.
Where this line is going to be relevant, again, is going to come from you spending some time in the market and back testing. Are you taking limit orders? Are you trading in a way where you want price to come into the level? Like here, for example, let's say this was a level. Some people have a rule where this is how they draw their level. There's no two ways about it. And they'll wait for price to come into this level, and then they'll wait for price to go out. Ignore this a second. They'll wait for price to go outside the level and close outside the level. Now, in the case of there being no color here, we don't know if this candle closed inside the level or outside the level. Right? Because if it closed inside the level, this candle would be red. If it closed outside the level, this candle would be green. Because a red candle, a green candle, the bottom of a green candle is where price opens. The top of a green candle is where price closes. And then vice versa on a red candle. The top of a red candle is where price opened on that candle. The bottom of a red candle is where price closed on that candle.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. So, in the case of this example, I don't know if this is a red candle or a green candle. But again, that's not necessarily a rule you need to determine at the moment. If you're waiting for price to come into level and then move out, you can say that, another thing you can do is if this whole range of this box right here, of this, the way with the level is marked from here to here is 5 points. We'll just say points. Forget about ticks for a second. Let's just say this is 5 points right here. From this bottom to this top is 5 points. And you, based on your trading, you risk 3 points per trade, and your stop is always 1 point outside the level.
Mhm.
Well, if this is 5 points and your stop is 1 point outside the level, so imagine this is imagine this is 5. Let's just say this bottom right here is 5, and the top of this zone right here is 10. So if this is 5 at the bottom, 10 at the top, and I'm willing to risk 3 points, and my stop is always, for whatever reason, let's just say I always put my stop 1 point outside the zone. That means my stop is down at 4, right? So if my stop is at 4 and I just want to put in a limit order, which means while price is jumping around up here, I'm going to put a buy order down here.
Gotcha.
Then my limit order, if I'm willing to risk 3 points, if my stop is at 4 and I go 3 points above 4, then my entry is going to be at 7. Follow me on that?
Yeah, okay.
That's it. That's if you want to. That's if you want a limit order. And a limit order means you put your order in. You've determined where you want your order, where you want to participate, where you want to buy. You've determined that it's at 7. That's what this line's representing. A price of 7, 7.7, 7 ticks, 700, doesn't matter. You know that your zone is 5 points wide. You're willing to risk 3. Another way you can do it is you can say, all right, this is how I draw my zone. I'm risking 3 points. I want to be limit order at 10. I want to be limit order at 10. So price comes down, it hits 10. It'll go as far as 7 before you're stopped out because you're risking 3 points.
Gotcha.
7 is somewhere like here. Okay. So that's how you would that's where this line would be relevant. Okay. You could also you could do that same concept, or partially the same concept. If this is how you were drawing your zone, you're drawing this whole, all the wicks, all the bodies, and you wanted to risk 3 points, you could do the same thing right here. You put your limit order right at the top there, or you can say same thing over here. Even though the zone is this wide, I want my stop at a point outside the low. I'm still going to get in at 7.
Gotcha.
And you might still, regardless of how you have this drawn, your order's still down here. Doesn't matter how you draw this. I used to draw all my zones like this, taking the highest basing candle in the demand zone. And if price, and I wouldn't consider anything that didn't come down into these bodies. Now, whether I was limit or was trading it another way is not completely relevant at the moment. But my trading style is a little different now. So I've adapted to, I just draw the whole zone because I want the reference point.
Yeah.
And but like I said, that doesn't mean that I just put a limit order at the highest wick. That's not what it means for me. So
Okay.
All right. So you got any questions on anything that's on the screen right now?
No, this was helpful to see this like all the way through and how you pictured it out. This was very helpful.
All right, cool. So let me see. Impulse correction. I'll go back to impulses and corrections. Coincidentally, the way I drew this, um, it works on here. I'll leave this on here for a moment. Put this on a 30-minute chart and just go and like look at how this. It's a shame. I definitely accidentally, as I was clicking down here to go to the chart, I must have hit the X.
Oh,
And this platform doesn't ask you, are you sure you want to close it? My other platform will ask me, are you sure you want to close this window? So, all right, so I'm gonna just go to like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I don't want to lose this for now. Okay. So if I can remember correctly where I had these examples. They were probably over here somewhere. All right, well, we'll start here. Okay, this is one of the examples I wanted right here. On that for something else. Okay. So it's not, it doesn't always come out as clean um, on here, but actually, I take that back. Let's ignore this for a second. That's for later. Here is, say you woke up in the morning and forget about the morning because this is afternoon. So let's just say you didn't get onto your platform till like 2 p.m.
mhm.
And you were going to come here and take a look at the charts. You're trying to determine where are my demand levels, where are my supply levels. Demand is always down and to the left. Okay, so if this is current price, actually this is a better way to do this, right here. Okay, so this is about 8:39 in the morning. Okay, so if you opened your chart, this is all you would see at 8:39 in the morning. All right, well, where are your
Yeah,
demand levels? Demand is always below price. Okay.
gotcha.
Demand is always below price. Okay, well, you're trying to find demand. Um, so you come down here, you need some basing candles and a leg in and a leg out, right? Well,
Yep.
going back to here for a second. Is this a leg in? Okay, this candle right here, is this a leg in? Or moving
Um,
prices moving down.
remove- yeah,
So this is a leg in because the majority of the candle is body. 70, you're
yeah.
50% or more. Okay. I like
Okay.
even maybe like 75% or more, but for the purpose of this practice, 50% or more. Okay. Great. Is this a basing candle or a leg candle?
Basing.
This one right here.
Yeah, I think it's basing because it's less than
Right.
50%.
Yep. You got it. Okay. Next candle. Basing or leg.
Leg.
Okay. Okay. And then so drop, base, drop. Okay. Basing candle or
Okay.
leg candle.
Looks to be a basing candle.
Yep. This one.
Basing
First thing that comes to
candle.
mind. Yep. This one.
Leg, leg candle, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, it's not the prettiest, but if we're just saying 50% or more, this is
Yep.
50% or more.
Yep.
Okay. Don't I shouldn't, the 50% or more is just for what regards the basics, is just a reference point.
Yeah.
So if this is your leg in, and this is your leg, and this is a base, and this is a base, sorry, base, leg out, then where's your zone? Your zone can be this whole area from this wick down to this wick. Okay.
Mhm.
Or maybe you take the bodies. Okay.
Bodies.
So this is a leg out, basing candle or leg out. We're gonna
Um,
say we're gonna say leg out. Okay.
leg out.
Just in this case, especially being followed by this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Facing.
Basing candle or leg out. That might be more than 50%, but seeing as it's followed by this one, we're gonna say, actually, we'll do this. So we're gonna say basing candle, leg out.
Leg
It's
out.
very
Okay.
subtle, but this is more than 50%, the screen one. Okay. It's subtle,
Okay.
but if that's our leg out, then that means this is the red candle is our basing candle. And if we're in this exercise, we're going to draw the base as the highest body in the basing candle and the lowest wick, then there's the zone. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, cool. So it's like I said, it's 8 in the morning. We're moving up. We're moving up. We're also want to try and find supply. If at 8 in the morning, supply demand is always below current price and to the left. Okay, below current price. Supply is always above current price and to the right. Sorry, and to the left. Everything is to the left. All the levels are to the left because price is moving to the right. Okay.
Okay.
So your levels are going to be to your left. So if you're looking here, we'll go with this candle. We're going to go with this candle leg in. Okay. Leg in, basing, 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 leg out. So in theory, then, based on that concept, if these are all your basing candles, this is your highest wick, then this whole zone, leg in, base, 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 leg out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, coincidentally, if you were here on this chart a day earlier and you marked this, you may have found a reason to be short in here. Okay. Price moves down, price moves down, price moves down, price moves down. Okay, so again, we were over here, we were looking for supply. It's 8 in the morning. Okay, there's 8 in the morning, and we're looking to see if there's any supply here. We don't really have any. Okay. If you were looking over here, because you see a big move down here,
Mm-hmm.
Price just moved right through here because clearly you didn't really have a level here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going here. Let's see. Okay, so if it was 8 in the morning, you're looking for demand zones. You got one here, you got one here. Where else do you have one? Well, price came down here. based, and moved up. So leg in, base, leg out,
Mhm.
base, 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 leg out. So you might look at this and say, this is a demand level, right? Got to move down, base, 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 big move out. Cool.
Yeah.
That would make, do you follow that one?
Yeah, I'm following. Okay.
Okay. Coincidentally, price popped down, hit this level, push back up. I don't know where it goes after that. We'll find out. Keeps moving up, moves down. What time of the day was this? This is 10 a.m. There might have been some news there. Back up again and down again. Yeah, this looks like news action because these are
Gotcha.
30-minute candles. Who knows?
Mhm.
Not super important because right now we're just talking about how do you draw levels, how do you find levels, how do you see levels. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So, at this point, trading day ends. That's what these lines are. These are end of session here. Okay. This is overnight, overnight, overnight. Here we are. We're back at 8 in the morning. Okay. If you jumped on your chart, you woke up. Here you are, 8 in the morning Eastern. You're looking for levels. What do you have here? Extended range candle, base, extended range candle. So,
Uh,
so you gotta move up from here.
mhm.
Move up. Oh, let me get this. Sorry, let me get this line off here. So you don't have to have any confusion with that line. Move down, move up. All right. So in this move down, made a higher high over here. So in this move down, is there potentially a level here? Well, this move down is more
Creating
than
a higher high.
50%. So drop, base
Mhm.
candle. What about this one? This basing candle or
Base.
a or leg out?
Uh, okay. It looks like a base to me. Is it lower leg out?
Yeah, I mean it's the majority of the range, right? From
Gotcha.
here to
I
here.
see what you-
So we're gonna use this as a leg in. I'm gonna use there's only one basing candle, so we're gonna use that as the leg out, and then price goes up, makes a higher high. Okay.
Gotcha.
Um, where are we? 8 in the morning, 8 in the morning, 8 in the morning. Okay, so you moved up. Um, price is still moving up, still going up, still going up. And there's the end of the day. So,
All right. So going up,
so what do you got here? You got to move up, move up. This is a In this case, this is a
leg.
this candle's about
Um,
75% or more. Okay. Pretty much the same there, here, and then a big move down. Right. So this might be supply here. Okay. Moving in, basing, leg out. Okay. Um, okay, so I want to get to 8 in the morning. Okay. And see where we are at 8 in the morning. Okay. So yeah, close to there. Now, if you were
and you
using the
said,
whole, if you were using the whole base, I'm sorry, the whole candle, the whole basing candle, then you got to move off of here.
mm,
Okay, so 8 in the morning. Now you're looking for supply levels at 8 in the morning, right? You know you got one up here, or you've
and that's a
identified
supply
one up
level
here.
because it's above the
Is there
price.
right?
Okay.
Supply is above current price. It's a turning point. Um, you see any other supply levels between here and here?
Um, is it no, I don't.
So you got extended range candle right here. You got to
Oh, yeah.
move down. Basing candle, move down. See it?
Gotcha. Okay. Form the
All right.
base
So
and
what
then move.
ends up happening here? Okay. So there are other factors aside from identifying the levels. This is a drop based drop. There's no doubt about that. Okay. Um, but there's other factors to determine what makes it likely to hold or not. Not super important right now. Being able to see what a drop based drop and a rally based rally looks like is what's important right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, this would be a drop base drop right here, drop base rally right here. Okay. Extended range candle. Now there are considerations. Some people like to see more than one candle dropping into a zone, for example. This only has one candle dropping into the zone, one extended range candle. It's got one dinky little basing candle and then an extended range candle out. Um, Kind of taps right back in there and it takes off again. Okay. So clearly there's some buyers down here because came down here, touched, went up, came down here, touched, went up, came down here, still going. I mean, eventually, in this case, it may have gotten exhausted. Let's see. Or maybe not. We'll find out. Okay, so eventually it got exhausted.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now, mind you, also, this is the end of the day. This is a new day. This is the overnight. So the overnight, that's a whole nother discussion. Okay. And then there's this. See this? Price moves up. Can't go any higher. Drop. Extended range candle. Basing candle. Drop. Price went right in there and is gone. Now there's some nuance to that, and that is, number one, this is overnight. Do you want to mess with it? But if you saw, all right, I'm only in a sidetrack for 10 to 20 seconds here. This was a level, and price came in here and pushed up, and came in and pushed up, and came in and pushed up, and then couldn't quite get out of the level, came down and went lower than this low right here, and actually went lower than the bottom of the level. There's a good chance that this level will hold. In this case, it did. You know, so just to see if any of these other levels held, or if these were relevant for anything. Price didn't even get down here. I mean, it may have at some point, but it didn't right now. So the price started going back up again. Now, did you have a level here? Yeah. You know, I mean, why didn't it hold? Any number of reasons. That was probably news right there, actually. That move, oh, just lost it. Where were we? Again, doesn't matter why. Just the point of, can you identify levels?
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean you just, you know, you start walking through the chart and just say, okay, you know, extended range candle here, basing candle, and then, you know, extended range candle here. So, okay, so then this is a supply level. I mean, that's not quite how it works. There's a little more, again, there's a little more nuance to it, but you know, that's the basis of it. This is on a 30-minute chart. There's a possibility here that this top may have held. If you go into like a 1-minute chart, you know, did you, what day was that? So that was the end of the day, and price did, if you had an order in this level, depending on how you put your order in, you know, if you happen to be somewhere, let's say 4106 coincidentally, and price moved down to 4092. So, you know, if your order was already in there, were you maybe able to get 10 points out of this? Yeah. 06 to 96. But anyway, so that's the I'd say that's the short of the long on you know, identifying levels. Now, clearly, like I said, you don't just walk through the chart and be like, oh, here's an extended range candle, here's a base, here's a base, here's a base, here's an extended range candle. I guess I'm just going to call this whole thing a rally base drop. On this time frame, if you were using the whole range of this candle, then then that worked for you. But you're probably not too likely to look at that and say that that's on a 30-minute chart anyway.
Yeah.
That's your supply level. You know, if you were in here a few days, if you were in here earlier in the day on this day, this is a pretty clean rally base rally right here. And price did go in here and move back up. But you can see, as an example, you can see this clear as day, right? Yeah. Drop, base, base, yeah. Base, rally.
Yeah.
And then rally, and then rally, base, rally.
All right. This is helpful.
All right. So
Yeah, this is helpful. Just to see it in this way.
Good, good. Well, that was the point where I lost it. Where'd it go? It's on this screen? Must be on this screen. Oh, here it is. All right. If you want to screenshot that,
Yeah, let me get a screenshot of
go
this.
for it. That's helpful.
All right.
Hold on. There's some more stuff up there. Hold on. Let me just take this out so this doesn't confuse anybody.
All right. Got it.
Michael.
Thanks, man. This is really helpful, man. This was really helpful.
Good, good. Glad to hear it. All right. I sent you probably saw in your email the days and times and the curriculum stuff I got. So maybe I'll catch you on the next one.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome, man. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.